The dawning of speed. Yes, it's a new era, guys. We're going to be talking tonight on Novak News about convenience, aren't we, Mark?
The need for speed.
You've got the Novak duo tonight, guys.
You've got us.
Yes.
But it is becoming insatiable what everyone is after with speed. They don't even know it. People don't even know it.
Yeah.
So what we've been talking about, and what we get asked a lot, being Innovator of the Year, and 2 years running, and as a company we're extremely innovative.
Yeah.
People are going, what's your next move? What are you doing next?
So people are saying, what's innovation? What's innovation? Innovation is multifaceted. There's many parts to it, and we've always been innovative though, haven't we, Mark? We're not covering innovation tonight though. We do want to cover speed, but this is a big part of it. This is a huge part of it.
It's our next move.
Yeah.
It's our secret weapon.
These days, convenience/speed is super important. Let's just talk for a moment about Uber Eats.
Yep.
These days, people don't order food. Believe it or not, you guys have a good think about this. Think about how you order food these days. You go onto your Deliveroo app or onto your Uber Eats app, and what do? We look to see what is the food that could be at our door the fastest. Yes, we say, you know what, I feel like a hamburger, but if Chinese can be at the door in 6 minutes and the hamburger's going to take 25, likely we will opt for the thing that's going to be at our door the fastest, because convenience will always win.
And it happened by default. So I know when we're looking at, by us, the way we order food online, particularly with kids and stuff like that, it was always based upon the quality of food and what we felt like. But now it starts off with speed, and then you work out the quality and the food after past that. So speed, guys, is becoming really important for us in our business.
It's super important. Yeah,
Huge.
It's super important. There was a couple of things, and I often relate back to this because I've been in sales, for 2.5 years, but there were so many things that I saw from the outside looking in, and I always used to say to Mark, but I don't understand. He's like, well, that's the industry, and we have always, again, as we mentioned, we've always been very innovative, but there was so many things that I just couldn't understand, right?
We accept a lot of things for the sake of that's how it's been.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, that's how it always was.
As an industry,
As an industry, I agree. That's how it's all. That is how it always was, and that's how it always will be. But I really feel as though I've tried to crack through a lot of that. I think disruption's the word, and it wasn't because I wanted to be a disruptor or we as a business wanted to be disruptors. It's just there are so many things that actually need to change, and we need to adapt to people and their circumstances and what their needs are. A big thing that I again saw in the industry was that why did it take so long for a property to come on the market? That's another massive thing.
You know what, it crept on the industry as well because, and just a shout out to Lisa Kramer, Annabelle, how are you? Luke, how are you? Adita, how are you? Legends. It sort of crept on us because everything started getting harder. So the photo shoot became complicated but high quality. The video shoot became complicated but high quality.
Hollywood style.
The floor plan became complicated, or there wasn't even one, then high quality. But then we started furnishing.
Yeah.
We started furnishing properties, so that became complicated. But then when you started auction campaigns, then when you started putting all those things in a concertina in order, it just blew out days to market, and it made it really painful for a person to sell. And equally it made it painful for a person to buy it because we were focusing so much on getting it right.
Yes.
We actually got wrong service speed.
No, what we got wrong was the amount of time that it would take. And this is such a valid point. This is not just a valid point for those people that are in real estate. This is a valid point for people in business these days. And no one has listened more about innovation than we all have right now, and the need for convenience than we all have right now.
Yeah.
And do you know why?
COVID's got our attention.
100%. We've just gone through a convenience/innovation boot camp. It's called COVID.
Yeah.
So if you guys out there that are watching this never believed that there was a need for speed or a need for convenience or a need for innovation, guys, no doubt you would believe it now that we are hopefully now coming out of COVID, hopefully not going back into it.
Yeah.
But even if we do need to relaunch into some sort of a lockdown, we've all learned so much, right?
We're equipped.
We're better equipped than what we were, let's say, sort of 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, there's enough sanitizer and dunny paper to go around.
Yeah, that is for sure. That is for sure. But you know, this yearning for convenience now is real. We are dealing with a whole bunch of, and sport brats is not a great word, but it's true. And again, if I just relate back to Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Uber, you know, you go into your Uber app and go, 9 minutes. I mean, I don't know, for those of you guys that are watching, you used to call up taxis combined, and you know, 30 minutes was pretty stock standard.
Well, can you imagine getting angry at a taxi driver for not turning up in 5 minutes 20 years ago or 15 years ago or 10 years ago? He'd just look back at you blankly and go like, what are you talking about?
Or drive off.
Or drive off. Now, as a real estate industry, I feel like we're coming to the dawning of that now, where it will get to a stage where people are like, you know, like we still are looking blankly to our customers that want stuff on demand real quick. Tenancy applications, guys, if you're applying for a rental property, I don't think there's a more painful process or application service can put you through. If you're applying to take a $500 a week 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom unit, what we put you through as an industry is absolutely pathetic. It is ridiculous. And just to take you from the A to Z in a couple of seconds, you walk through the property and you have a look. You must have a look at it. Now, I've got clients that are buying stuff on spec now. I had a discussion with a client today. He said, just send me the photos and the floor plan. I own one in the building. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, so, okay.
You can buy a property, but you can't rent a property based on a video.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
For a rental property, in applying, you should be able to not have to physically go through if you want to take it, right? Airbnb,
We're
right?
Stuck in the dark age.
Airbnb. Imagine Airbnb saying no, you can't rent this until it's wrong.
Yeah.
So that's the first bottleneck we do with tenancy applications. And what we're talking about tonight is speed and stuff that we're doing as an industry that's so bloody obvious. It's so bloody archaic. So then you like the property, and what do you say?
I want to apply.
Now, how do I apply?
How do I apply?
Now, shouldn't you know how to apply for it? Shouldn't that be so bloody obvious that every agent has that same format or same system on how to apply? It should be real easy. Now, when we do apply, we will make you use a platform called OneForm on realestate.com.au, or we will ask you to fill out an online application, or we will ask you to fill out a PDF. Now, if you're a prospective tenant out there and you filled something like this out in the last couple of years, you may be used to it. It's retarded. It is so bad. It is so detailed. I'll tell you what, and then it keeps going, doesn't it? So then you have to get your partner to fill out the same thing. Then you have
partner. What about if it's you and 3 friends that are going onto the application?
So you're talking
what a pain in the neck.
So now we're up to about 10 or 15 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Just for a rental property.
What about when you're applying for? What about that? This is applying for 1. What about if you're applying for 3 or 4? So you can multiply that out.
It's nuts. So then you've got to go through the format of how do I pay a deposit if you get accepted. You should be able to pay it.
Yeah.
Why should we refuse your money? You should be able to pay it up front. It should be received straight away. Now, then they haven't even started processing the application yet. They haven't even got a lease ready for you to sign.
It's frustrating just for me to listen to.
It's a banana process. It's really archaic. So guys, 2021, need for speed. Novak, what are we doing with rental applications? Guess what? If you like it, send us your critical documents. What's your critical documents? Your critical documents is a driver's license. From that point, we will conduct an interview on Zoom with you that we ask you 15 questions online, which is a Zoom face-to-face.
Recorded. It
gets recorded. It goes for about 3 to 4 minutes.
Yep.
It gets supplied to our landlord. We approve you on that interview. If all the questions are answered and the property manager is comfortable, you get to deal with your property management and a letting consultant. The property manager makes the decision. The property manager will give the video to the owner. Now, that property manager will take your credit card payment on the spot, basically in that same meeting. And guess what? we send you a link. All you do is put in your account name, your username, password to it, have a look at it, check it out.
Yeah.
It's called.
But that's the kind of thing that we're talking about, guys. And this is what
You didn't hit
people.
me on the leg though.
Oh, I didn't hit you on the leg.
Oh, was I rambling?
Yeah.
I've
That's
got
okay.
the best part.
Okay, so go.
Bankstatements.com.au is what we now use at Novak. So you actually don't give us any bank statements for your savings or your mortgage or your credit card. We process all of it for you. We get a file, we submit that to the owner and it's reviewed. So for a prospective tenant, they don't have to dig up their rent, their rent, any statements and stuff. We can see your rent being paid.
But the bottom line is take a long, dubious process and work out ways that you can make this better.
Yeah.
We do it all the time in our business. We always have. But that's on the rental front. So basically Mark's saying this long process. It's just always been normal in the real estate industry.
Lisa told me not
We're
to
going to
waffle.
take it.
She told me not to waffle
And
tonight.
it's waffling.
And I waffle. She
We're
said,
on it.
don't.
Guys, give me a thumbs up if you agree that Mark was
She
waffling.
said, don't
I want to
waffle.
know.
And she just chopped me.
Yeah.
And I said,
Chopped
don't
him.
hit me under the table. And then she said, anyway, it's a good one. So, yeah, that's speed. You're
But,
right, Lisa.
need for speed, right? It's a big one. Now, another thing is, one thing that really frustrated me coming into sales was could not understand why it took so long to get a property on the market. The obvious things, we had to wait for a contract to come in. Even that's gotten faster. But we had to wait for the contract to come in. And then I was like, hang on a sec, you book the photographer, you got to wait for your fancy photos to come back. You book your videographer, you got to wait for your fancy video to come back. And there goes like another week and a half. And I was like, no, surely there's another way here. And so, again, that whole social media, pre-portal, get the property on, there is no downtime because we've got our phones. As soon as I've got the agreement and the contract to sale, we're launching your property straight up to the social media channels immediately. There's no editing videos, there's no editing photos. It's straight out and on there. I've got a number of properties right now, actually, as we speak, that are just about to go under contract. These properties came onto my social media so fast, and they are selling now so fast that it's almost like we can't even get some of our sales guys through these properties
At great prices.
at phenomenal prices. Like,
Yeah.
can I just address this? I know this is off topic. People are saying, like, how
Just
do you know?
make sure you don't waffle.
I won't waffle. People are saying, how do you know you've tested the market? Guys, please, just think about this for a moment. We are always going to realestate.com and or Domain. Why would a vendor want to sell cheaply when we are going to go onto the property portal? Why? Of course we're selling for a phenomenal price, pre-portal, pre-market.
If you're looking for a date and a supermodel walks into the room before you thought of looking for a date, that's your magic price, guys. So if people are willing to sell at a phenomenal price, the dream price plus 10% or 20% or whatever that may be, that's the perfect thing. Why would you say no, wait? Because we actually just had that happen last week and the magic was lost.
Yeah.
We won't say what suburb or thing, but
yes, and like poor vendors are kicking themselves. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's done now. The fallback plan, which is not necessarily it's the plan B, is a phenomenal one because we are going on to realestate.com if we haven't sold pre-market.
Lisa Kramer, you guys rock as a team. Never mind the waffle.
Thanks, Lee.
Jeff Luby, Legends, how are you, buddy? Lou
Hey,
Valera,
Jeff.
g'day, buddy.
Hey,
Michelle,
guys.
thank you for your support. Rachel, how are you? And Luke Roney, take
Can I-
action.
I want to say something else.
Yes.
People will sacrifice quality for convenience.
This is touchy.
This is a big one.
This is touchy
Yes.
but true.
No, they will.
Yes.
And let me tell you why. I can go with my iPhone again. I'll just use this as a living example. I can go with my iPhone and I can take photographs of a property right now. I am not a photographer and I'm definitely not claiming to be one. But I can take photos with my iPhone and I can launch them out.
Not a bad camera.
Not a bad camera.
Not a bad camera.
And I can launch them out unedited immediately to the world. It's called convenience.
Yeah.
It's called convenience. And again, people don't care if they're not seeing the glorified version of the property right now. The fact is that it got served to them very quickly,
It's
and
coming,
they're
though.
eternally grateful for that.
The glorified version's coming, but as a buyer,
Yep.
I don't care. I will buy that
Yes.
for what the dream price the owner wants,
Convenience.
and I want to buy it now. And you're going, whoa, the circus and palaver's coming. I don't care. I want
Yeah.
to buy it. I want to buy it for $1,050,000. Well, my owner wants $1 million. Well, hey.
And actually, the buyers respect the authenticity. They do, because there's nothing that actually pays a buyer off more than when they've arrived at a property and it looks nothing at all like how it looked online, right? Because we've dressed it up with maybe virtual furniture or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. But you know, they do respect the authenticity.
The need
That's
for
for
speed.
sure.
The need for speed, guys. The world's changing, and you know
And
what?
fast,
It happens
smart.
under your nose.
Yeah.
It happens under your nose where you go, that's a pretty good idea. I'm going to do that. Next thing you know, you're doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's become a staple.
Yeah.
And that, you know what that is? Property on social media. You said it today. Lisa was saying she used to get people that were upset in community boards that were seeing her property posts going to the
Yeah.
community board, like
So I would.
Northern Beaches.
Yeah, like, you know, the Northern Beaches, like buy, swap, sell boards and things like that. So, you know, some of these properties do go out onto those community boards sometimes.
Because there's sometimes 30,000
People
on
used
that.
people used to get really annoyed if
Yeah.
they saw a property on there. They're like, it's not for that, it's, you know, so that we can sell bikes and things like that. Now, people actually, for the most part, yeah, they love it. They actually enjoy it.
There's lots of interaction.
Lots.
They make inquiries
Super
of
positive.
it.
Yeah.
And the big thing in there, that's an example of speed.
Yes.
That's an example, whereas people just thought, no, actually, I don't mind this, I like this. They're consuming,
Yeah.
now they're used to it.
100%.
Next thing you know, they see it, they
And
buy
they
it.
share it more and more and more. They share it, the digital word of mouth. Another thing that I want to address, Mark.
That's quick. The way that's
How
done's quick.
many years have we had this motto? 24/7, we never sleep.
Yeah,
Like how many years? 10, 15?
15.
I reckon 15 years.
Remember the one before that?
A step ahead.
Yeah.
It was a step ahead. But 24/7, we never sleep has been our motto for 15 years. And again, it's stuff that we saw moving into the future. But now more than ever, it's important because people do expect you to be available 24/7.
Yeah.
There are times, not often, that I'm very, 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 very busy on a Sunday. And, you know, the reality of it is people used to, and I'm not saying they're not being respectful of a Sunday, but these days people
Real
like
estate busy on a Sunday.
real estate busy on a
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah.
people expect that you are going to be available on Sundays all day and Saturday nights, and you know it's true, right? Because if you offer that kind of service where you make life convenient for people and you are on call like that 24/7, then you know they will expect that they can contact you, and they can, and we will answer and we will service them.
You will blink your eyes and your business will be bad. And you will go,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, I don't know why, and the rate of
If the rate of change on the outside of your business exceeds the rate of change on the inside of your business, you're in trouble.
Maya and David Jones
Yeah.
got a great example.
Yeah. So I went into DJ's a couple of weeks ago. I was a bit early I had to meet a client actually, and I ran into DJ's. I had to go get a couple of things.
Speed.
And I tell you what,
Would have been faster buying online.
it would have been, and I ended up saying that. It was not a fun experience. It really, I won't go into great detail because it's not my style, but you know, it was not a fun
You're not
experience.
gonna waffle?
No.
Okay.
Especially when the story's about the need for speed. But you know, look, it wasn't a fun experience. The reality of it was I ended up not shopping there, and I ended up just getting home late that night and buying what I needed online, and then it arrived the next day. And so
The epiphany in that example for me, the big lesson when you said the rate of change, outside has exceeded the rate of change on the inside. Inside the store, inside their brains, they're thinking people walk in and we sell them stuff. Outside in the whole world, people are buying online. But this lady
Yeah.
wants to go and buy business shoes and she wants to try them on. Great, good customer. When she finally cuts through all the palaver, the lady says to her, I don't have your size, but I have them in another store. And it's like 2020, man. This is crazy.
And she's
It's
like, I'll ring the other store and I can probably have them in for you like within the next 48 hours.
And what
And I'm
should
thinking-
have happened is she should have taken your credit card, cut the palaver.
Yeah.
She should have taken the credit card on the spot and delivered to your house next day.
100%.
Bang, just like
Done.
online.
Which is what I ended up doing anyway. I
And
just
if
ended
they
up
were
going
real
home
good
at 10
times.
o'clock at night and buying them online and then having them delivered the next day. But you know, look, first world problems, but the reality of it is that is it. And look, are we dealing with a bunch of sport brats these days? Most definitely we are. As I said at the beginning of the segment, for those of you guys that missed that, we will order food these days not based on what we feel like, but what will actually arrive at our door the fastest. We will order an Uber exactly the same way. We want, this is what we want.
We're in dangerous grounds.
We're looking for
We
convenience.
are in dangerous grounds.
Yeah.
This, what we just spoke about, like with the DJs and Myers, right? They're fashion houses. They're quality. They're good fashion,
Yeah.
right? They got good stuff there. They are going to be pulverized and knocked over by someone like Amazon or some
Yeah.
just because of pure speed.
I'm going to
It's
say it.
nuts.
I'm going to say it.
It's nuts.
Those big stores will be in trouble. Let's mark this. In 12 months' time, I do fear for them. They're going to be in trouble. Because if that, well, they're not, Mark, they are not innovating. They are not. For those of you guys that are watching, do you remember Grace Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, these are, if you are, these stores are, David Jones, Myer, they are not innovating. To go online and try and shop online with these guys is not fun.
Their website.
Get onto the Iconic and see what a pleasurable experience that is.
Really.
I can go on, I can choose the dress, the colour, the size. Would you like it delivered in 3 hours? Yes, tick, pay, and it's for $7. Yeah, 100%.
3 hours.
I can order a dress right now and I can have it delivered in 3 hours or next day at the door. It will be delivered fact.
Whoa.
There you go. So that's it. Now the other thing
Speed.
is the level of inquiry and how we're getting back to people as well.
Speed.
That's massive, and it's so massive now that, particularly, you know, for me, again, doing a lot on social media, dealing with people on social media and the level of inquiry that is now coming through as a result of the stock that I'm putting out on there is a massive, massive feat. I actually had a conversation with Tom Panos about it the other day, and I said, I need to work out how to make this scalable because it's a big job now. The beauty there, the magic rather, is getting back to people almost immediately. And I don't want a robot. So it's a matter of, okay, well, how do you do this? Because that's the magic, again, of you know, what people want. They put through an inquiry on social media, and it's almost like a chat group. They want an instant response. If you're getting back to them the next day, it's actually too late sometimes.
I always thought it was going to come via SMS or come via a website or a chat, but this unbelievable rapid fire correspondence answering inquiries come through social.
Social.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
So it's actually it's almost like socials replace the telephone in a 9 to 5 office.
Yes.
It's weird.
Definitely.
But it's now 24 hour.
Yeah.
And it's like bang inquiry, bang answer. I love you. Don't answer. Well, you're just the same as everyone
What
else.
about, you know,
Crazy.
when people put through an email inquiry, now we've always had in our office a system set up where we have to, with salespeople, answer that inquiry within 9 minutes. That's just how it's always been. But it sure as hell must be a frustrating experience if you've put a property inquiry through off the back of realestate.com or Domain and the agent doesn't get back to you for 24, 48 hours and all you wanted to know was a price or a strata rate.
What now?
And so you will actually lose a client. Fact, you will lose a client because you just did not get back to them fast enough. They'll move on. They'll find something else. They'll leave that property behind because we didn't answer them quick enough.
Or
That's how important it is.
Or the person that does, snap.
Yep.
Snap.
Watch.
So you make it so there's two houses for sale. One agent doesn't get back for 24 hours. The other agent gets back straight away, shows them through the property they love, they accept their offer, sign a contract, gone.
I have 2 transactions that are happening like that right now. Right now. They've just gone onto my social media, and because we got the buyer through immediately, we closed the deal immediately. It went up so fast that most of you probably didn't even notice that the property even came onto social.
It's nuts.
It's moving at
Good
lightning
price.
speed, phenomenal price.
So
Yes.
closing up, just so I don't waffle, what have we spoken about? Uber Eats,
Yeah.
super fast, game changer. Taxis were going, we can't get here any quicker. Uber Eats did it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Uber, not Uber Eats.
Well, Uber too.
Uber as well.
Uber Eats.
Selling
Deliveroo.
property,
Yeah.
rapid fire. Believe it or not, guys, you can now buy property quickly. I know it's $1 million or $2 million or 500,000. It's
They don't
happening
care.
under our noses.
They don't care.
We're
Yeah.
not people are willing to sacrifice speed.
No, people are willing to sacrifice the
quality.
quality of their marketing over getting their property sold quickly.
There's a bit of magic on that as well because people feel like there's the perception they're getting a better buy because they're getting it before
And
everyone else.
never,
They'll pay more for that
ever,
perception.
no, never selling cheaply. Buyers are eternally grateful because you got
Yeah.
them in before the crowds.
Yep.
And vendors are eternally grateful because you turned a phenomenal sale around in less than 24 hours.
Yes.
And there were no ticket take parades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Processing applications for rental tenants
Massive.
as an industry, it
Yeah.
is embarrassing. At Novak, it is embarrassing as an industry. It is embarrassing how hard it is when a tenant has to apply for a property. Have a good long hard think about
Yeah.
it. We're making changes. Watch what's going to happen in the next couple
Jeff,
of weeks.
I have.
Novak.
Jeff said get an assistant. Jeff, I do have an assistant. There's 3 of us in my team. There's Michael, Zach, and myself. Zach is my assistant. Michael and I work together. I can tell you now, the 3 of us are run off our feet. Run off our feet. We are still working right now.
But people still want this to know that. That's
Yeah.
the difficulty, Jeff. The difficulty is, and I think this is a common problem that that everyone has, but people still want the authentic answer, the authentic rapid fire,
Yeah.
the real person.
And I will,
It's not
like,
hard.
I will actually answer. I'm crazy. Unless I'm asleep, I won't be able to answer you. If I'm awake,
Even if you're asleep.
I'll answer you.
Bankstatements.com.au, get on, check that out. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Now tenants have the ability to put in their details. We will have all their bank statements. On their bank statements, we'll see their wage coming in. On their bank statements, we'll see their rent being paid. Bankstatements.com.au is now taking over the rental application.
Hey, can I just
business.
add one more thing to that? I don't know how much time we've got. Let me just add one more thing. Guess what you, Mark, came up with many years ago.
Marrying you,
Besides that did not happen quickly.
baby.
That did not happen quickly.
Yeah,
3-minute SMS appraisal.
boom.
Okay, like that is the absolute.
Speed.
That is at the absolute pinnacle of speed in the real estate industry. So
Good
much so
quality.
that it actually went viral all over the world. That 3-minute SMS appraisal. So you call up
I can't
and
believe you gave me the credit for it. She's always stealing my ideas. But the 3-minute SMS,
that's a lie.
the 3-minute SMS was sacrificed quality
Yes.
for speed.
Yep.
Because quality is getting an agent through, comes back to you in 3 days. Less quality, but the speed
Yeah.
is 3 seconds.
So 3-minute
3
SMS,
minutes.
just for those of you guys that are watching that don't actually know what that is, we can appraise your property in 3 minutes. True story.
True.
You just need to SMS your property address through to a mobile number that we promote.
0460 111 111. If you live on
Yeah.
the Northern Beaches, send your address to 0460 111 111 and watch how fast we come back to you
And
with
in
a
three-
market appraisal.
Yeah, we'll come back to you with the market
Northern
appraisal.
Beaches only.
True story. True
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is a strategy that we came up with a really long time ago because the process for getting your property appraised industry-wide is dubious. It's a pain in the neck. It's an absolute pain in the neck. Hello, can I speak to an agent? Yes. Oh, today's Monday. I'm booked tomorrow. I can come up Thursday. And then you get back to them with a price on the property, maybe 24 hours later if you're lucky. For God's sakes.
Interesting.
It's a frustrating process. So these are the little things, guys. They're the 3-foot throws. I've got a really good quote by Lee Woodward. Let's finish off with this one.
Yep.
Simple is hard.
Simple is complicated.
Yeah, that too. It is. True story. It really is. People overcomplicate stuff. Don't. Look for the real simple stuff and just do it really well. We're done.
Giddy up.
Yes, I didn't have to knock him under the table once.
Yeah, it's bad.
All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks for having us, and
Love you. See ya.
we'll see you guys soon.
Take care.
See ya.